wanna heal?
Yeah. Wait, I gotta feel it? No. Ooh, I just don't know.
But I wanna grow. Where can I go? To a safe place.
Hello, family, and welcome to a Safe Space podcast. I am your host, Michaela Forbes, and today we continue our discussion on healing after divorce. In the room today, we have none other than Miss Anishka Adderley. Hi, Anishka.
Hi, Michaela.
How are you doing, darling?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I am great. You look awesome.
Thanks.
So, Anishka and I met, or was introduced through Miss Ria Christina. We both did divorce care program. How was that for you, Anishka?
Divorce care was a great experience that I found for me. It was at the beginning of my journey. And so being that it was at the beginning, it helped enlighten me as to other things and opportunities that were going on with other persons that were divorced or going through divorce, same as I was.
Yes.
So it was enlightening.
Yes.
I really had a great time doing it.
And I remember when you saw it, you'd be like, how come Ria didn't call me?
Oh,
like,
that was my first thing.
Exactly. When my sister told me about it, I went to Legacy Church and I said, sign me up, because I just wanted to know that I was on the right path. So I think you're doing the right thing, and I highly recommend that program to anyone who's going through divorce or thinking about divorce. So Anishka, when we talk about divorce, it seems like there is some shame attached to it, or sometimes the subject is taboo. I would like to know, have you ever experienced that feeling of shame?
Well, for me, it wasn't shame. It was a matter of how to now maneuver my focus. I understand that divorce is not a talked about subject, especially in the Bahamas, where you feel like everybody that's married is supposed to stay married happily ever after, you know, the fairy tales that we're all told.
Yes.
However, divorce has happened to the persons before and will happen to persons after. And going through the motions, I'd say, of divorce, it was more or less trying to find your space. And I couldn't let it be a taboo for me because I still had to find my space.
Yes.
So I didn't treat it as a taboo, even though that's what it is.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Hopefully we're broadening this with our safe space.
Yes. Hopefully we're bringing some enlightenment that, you know, it happens. You know, it's not something you want to happen, but divorce does happen. I know a few family members who felt like, you know, they were embarrassed, or it felt shameful, like it's something they didn't want to talk about. But because I experienced that, when I knew I was getting divorced, I went and I said, just because my marriage failed doesn't mean that I'm a failure. And I told that to myself every day so I don't feel shame. And I try to talk about it openly so that others can feel okay talking about it. So thank you for that. Thank you for being open. No. I think it helps. I actually started a blog. It was one of those things that I just wanted to do, to be able to have my voice heard at some point as well. I tried. A little something. Okay. But it was one of those things you needed to get your voice out there, and by whatever means necessary at that point. And healing comes. You just have to figure out your channel and figure out how you can let it not fester to make it a taboo at that point. You have to be able to speak on it. You have to be able to talk to other people that are going through it or that might have gone through it already. You just need to be able to find your help and seek it by any means. Yes, I like what you said, because you said seek it and find it, because it's so personal and it's so unique. So you have to be the one to seek it and see what works for you. Because what works for me in my healing after divorce might not work for you. But as you seek, and you seek from God, He will give you those answers, and you take those baby steps. So Anishka, there are so many concerns we have when we go through that divorce process. I want to know, did you have any concerns, or what were your concerns going through that process, and how did you overcome those concerns and eventually navigate to where you are now?
My major concern, funny enough, was my parents were divorced. So I am a child of divorce. So I knew what that face looked like while I was growing up. Okay. Even though it was different for me because my sister and I were older. I have a 5-year-old. And so divorce when I was going through it, because even though it was my parents, I was the one that was going through it as a child. When I was going through it, it seemed as if I know I don't want this for my child. And then to get put into the situation is like, oh goodness, how did I end up here? But then it's a matter of, okay, you still have to find a way to deal with it for your child.
Yeah.
And that was my push for a lot of things. So even though that was a scary point, that was also my drive. So having my son there and knowing that, okay, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, get up, move on, figure it out, because now life has to be figured out without another person in the household, without another person every day beside you.
Yes.
So you have to figure out what will work in that aspect. And for me, it was happening during COVID.
Oh, yes.
So that was even more of a secluded space. And so that led me more into my thoughts, more into figuring out, okay, you got to figure this out all the way, because now you no longer have that extra buffer, so to speak.
Yes.
So you are in this and you figure it out, you know.
Yeah, you figure it out. And maybe COVID might have helped, because that sometimes you need that silence or to stop going out or stop doing certain stuff. Even if you have some positive distractions, sometimes it still is a distraction. And you need to get the quiet to really figure out you.
Figure it out. Yeah.
But you said your son was a motivation.
Yes, and that was a major deal, because you have to want to figure it out. You can't want to sit there and be like, well, divorce is happening to me. Woe is me. It's not.
No pity party here. No pity party.
It's not that kind of party, especially if you still have life you're dealing with.
Yes.
And with life, not just your own, yours and whomever you might bring along for the ride, I'd say. Yeah.
So I definitely had the same concerns. I had concerns with my kids. You know, I don't want them to grow up in a broken home. Like, I had a single parent family. Then, of course, I had, because it's finances, you know, how's the assets going to be distributed? Will I have to start from scratch financially in general? But my biggest concern was, how was my future going to look like? Because I never, ever saw myself single. Like, I was dating from long time to teenage years. Not recommended. I never saw myself single. I always saw myself in a relationship. And if you had asked me at 25 how my future going to look like, it was married or nothing. Okay? Marriage
or bust.
That's it. So I was concerned, and you know what will single look like? And I've seen like single women, and they seem unhappy or just like always searching. And I'm like, I don't want to be that single, unhappy person. I want to still have joy. I didn't know what that would look like. So that was my biggest concern. So thank you for sharing with us your concerns. But again, talking about singleness, you probably never pictured yourself single at this, I don't say tender age. We had a nice age. We had a wisdom age, okay? Love it, okay? In the 40s, I'm sure you didn't picture yourself single. So how do you feel now about being single at this stage in your life?
It's scary out there.
It's scary.
I haven't been single let me just put it like this. My last relationship started in 2013. So that was my last relationship. So now I have to bring my mindset to what my mindset is now and be able to grow with what the environment looks like outside of.
It's a different environment. Because I'm like, people just walk up to you and say, hi, beautiful lady, can I take your number? Now it's like online or social media, they DM you and you're like, who's the person? But it's different.
Outside is outside now. Outside, yes. That is a thing, because another point with dating, with being single, you can't, like, for me, I kind of want to know that I knew this person before.
Oh, you want to know them in a private? Okay.
Because I feel like there's so much other things that are going on with humans. In the fact that you never know who they might have decided they wanted to morph into.
Okay.
So
Okay, so what I hear is that
it's hard.
We're going to figure it out.
It's hard.
We are figuring it out. But, you know, are you excited anyway about dating? At first I wasn't, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm excited, but everything God has in my future, and a part of that is relationships. So therefore, I'm excited or looking forward to what God has for me in this area. So are you a little excited or a little looking forward to it?
My cousin asked me, right, when we got separated, my cousin said, Nish, how you thinking about, your next relationship? I was like, not having it, not gonna happen. I done, da-da-da-da-da. He asked me this recently as well. Okay. And I said, I am so open because I feel like you have to settle yourself in who you are. And I feel like I became settled in who I am. So once again, I'm able to find a space for me. And so in finding the space for me, I said, okay, I'm now able to open up myself in my space to someone else. So I am single
and
happy,
open. I like that word. Open. And it's called Single 2.0. So Anishka, I want to dive a little deeper into that dating scene. The last time you dated, it was just Anishka. Now you have a 5-year-old to think about. How will you approach dating differently than you approached it maybe back then?
So because life has changed, with my 5-year-old, I don't want to introduce him to any and everybody.
Yeah.
I still want to keep him safe, protected, and let him feel like, okay, mommy's not just here, there, and everywhere, because I'm really not. So with that being said, I want to wait until the person and I are serious enough to say, okay, we might decide to move this a little further. Therefore, at that point, then I'll introduce my son, because I don't want it to be a fact of him getting attached.
Get attached very quickly. And 5 years old,
I don't want him to get attached to a person, and then I figure out, okay, this is not the person that's going to work for us.
Yes.
Because at this point, I'm thinking us.
Yeah, exactly. So, now thinking both of you.
Right. Yes. I have to figure that part out. I'm maneuvering through that. It's going to be a little rough, I'm guessing. But I'm open. I'm willing. I've put the feelers out there already.
Okay. Feelers are out there.
Feelers are out there.
I can definitely relate, because I feel like growing up, my mom always had a boyfriend. When she broke up with one, the next one was there. And I remember getting so attached to one, I was like, Mommy, make back up with him, man. I liked him, man. So I feel like the child also feels when the two people break up, So I can definitely relate to maybe keeping your children away from it until that's the person that you want to be with. I can definitely relate to that.
And funny enough, my mom, she never remarried, and she also did not get into relationships after divorce.
Wow.
And
how long has she been divorced?
Right. I was in the 8th grade. And so she hadn't gotten into a relationship at all since then. And it was actually I feel like we got the best of her on either world, but the best of her was with her by herself. Yes.
Yeah, the best of her was with her by herself.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Because she was great as a mother with being a wife as well, but a mother by herself was awesome.
Now, since you say that, I think I can relate, because I feel like because I'm happier, I can now, my cup is running over, and then I can share that with my kids. So I think they're getting a better version of me now today, because I am now finding myself. So I think I can relate to that. Okay.
So I'm saying that because in the event that I don't end up in a relationship,
you'll be okay.
I know I'm going to be okay. Yes. That's not even an if, and, a but. At that point, I am sure from now, I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
But it's a matter of, if I do have that person there as well, it'll still add value to my life as well as my son's life. And that's what I'm...
And that's the key, adding value. I feel like if you find somebody who will add value, you welcome them into your life. But if you see somebody who does not add value, then you got to go, because I am happy single. So I will recognize if somebody is adding value or somebody is, detracting. So I think the key is getting to know yourself as a single person so you can recognize that and decide on your non-negotiables. Okay. Well, Mom, I see this big tattoo on your arm. I am a creative. I do my art through plays and film and song. But I see this big tattoo art on your arm. What does your tattoo say, and why is that important to you?
This was this is a birthday gift to me from me. I do that every now and again.
Okay.
And this one I thought about very long and hard as to what struggles I've been through in my life. All of my tattoos have meanings. I have a couple.
A couple? Oh, you can't count.
So all of them have meanings, and this one in particular I thought of long and hard. And it says faith and family. Which to me, those are the two major things that will always be in my life, and they won't go away.
Faith.
I don't want them to go away. I don't need them to go away. I have my reminder everywhere of it. And it is here. A lot of people do ask me about my tattoos. And I can say props to my tattoo artist, Robert.
Awesome.
He does very good work for me. And, you know, in terms of being able to draw in on what I wanted something in this spot. Because I rub my arms a lot every now and again. I rub my knee too, but hey, I rub my arms a lot. So it was one of those things that, okay, I know that's there. Yeah. Okay, it's cool.
It is beautiful. And I think both of those, faith and family, is very important when you are healing after divorce, because your family is your support system and faith is your foundation. You can't do it without faith. Faith in God. Let me say faith in God. Yes. Okay, Anishka. We will be right back after this break.
A special thanks goes out to all our sponsors: Jadazzles, Hair by Onyx, Makeup by Ajua, Maybelline, distributed by Lowe's Pharmacy, and On Point Shipping. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, the facilitator of divorce care at Legacy Church, and I'm here with quick tips for you. So the first tip, forgive yourself. Allow yourself to go through the process where you are no longer holding yourself hostage because of what happened, and it's probably out of your control. The second tip that I would give to you is allow yourself space to go ahead and do something for yourself. Do something. Love yourself. Treat yourself to something nice, something special, even as you're going through the process. It's difficult, the road is hard, but yeah, give yourself some love. The third thing that I would say to you is, while you're navigating this space, pay very close attention to your finances. Now, I know that's a difficult topic, right? We don't want to touch it, but you need to be aware as to where it is that you are financially, so that you can now know what it is that you need to do to maintain the standard of living that you would have become accustomed to, and even for the sake of your kids, having them at a place.
Welcome back to a Safe Space podcast. Joining us is our very own Miss Ria Christina, small group leader of Legacy Church. Hey, Ria. What's going on?
Listen, good to be back again.
I see that yellow. Great minds think alike. That was not planned, people. Just great minds, okay? Ria, remind our audience about the divorce care program.
Absolutely. So for those of you that may not know, Divorce Care is a 13-week program. And I say program, it's not something where it's off the cuff. We're just thinking things off of the top of our heads, but it's actually a program that I facilitate at Legacy Church. And it gives us an opportunity to speak with those persons who are either going through a divorce or probably in that space of thinking about divorce. We even had a person in one of our cohorts that was divorced for about 20 years. And that, believe it or not, it was transformational. Wow. It was transformational just to be able to see that even for someone who would have been divorced for about 20 years, having to go through the divorce care program, and she had realized, she was like, after all of these years, I had not realized that I did not deal with this.
Oh, wow.
After 20
That's
years
powerful.
of being divorced. So for those of you that may be interested in divorce, you'll be like, oh, but child, I fully healed. I don't need that. You just simply don't know. It doesn't matter how long you probably may have been divorced for. I'm sure that by way of conversation and us having the actual sessions, you probably come into realizing that there's something else.
Something you get out of
Something else that you can actually get out of being in the program.
Exactly. And I remember you said that somebody did the program who was thinking about divorce and then realized that they didn't do all they can in the marriage and they actually did not pursue divorce. So I think that's awesome testimony.
Yeah.
So, Rhea, you was able to listen to Anishka and I conversation. Anything you have to add about the tattoos?
Well, listen. Well, I ended up in the space. I think it may have been for my 40th. I decided that I wanted to. Yes.
Oh,
I decided that I wanted to go ahead and get another tattoo. I have another one as well.
Okay.
But I decided to do one, and this one was for me. Because it was for my birthday, my 40th, I was like, I want to do something special for me. And my own is live, laugh, love freely.
Love, laugh freely.
Yeah. I think one of the things, and this here serves as my reminder that no matter what, one of the things, anyway, I'll say it like this. One of the things that was said to me was, because you're going through with this divorce, you're going under. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, that's not going to happen with me. Yeah. It's not going to be my reality.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I rebuke that.
Listen to me. In that moment, and sometimes we are in situations, we have to be very mindful what it is that we're allowing to be spoken in our atmospheres and over us.
Yes.
In that moment, when those words are being spoken over me or spoken to me, because it was being spoken to me, I was like, no, I'm going to take the authority right here, right now.
Amen.
No, the buck stops here. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be my reality. The only thing that's going to be my reality is I'm going up. And I will tell you, I've been going up. Moving on up. Yeah, I'm moving on up. So for me, I did the tattoo, and it's really to have that reminder. I'm going to live. No matter what, no matter how things are looking around me, I'm going to live. I'm going to be in that place where I'm laughing because I have joy. I'm going to allow myself to go through the healing that's necessary for me, and not just for me, extending it to my children as well. And then I'm going to love. So this here was also in the space of, we're talking about single and dating, and I'm like, boy, I don't know. If I'm going to get back in that space, but and even just thinking about, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have been divorced for a few years now, and I actually haven't really been out there like that.
Wow.
So
are you open to being online dating, or you not?
Listen, online dating, I know, but that's
Exactly.
Mind you, I've had someone that said to me, they're like, Rhea, there's so many people out there to meet, and I'm like, I too scary for those guys.
You're too scary,
right? I mean, and I shouldn't really be saying that. But the reality of it is, for me, who would have been in a relationship, a marriage relationship, or even dating for so long, out there look a whole lot different.
Yes, it does.
It looks a whole lot different, and it requires a lot more skill in terms of being able to knowing how to navigate this new space.
Discernment.
It's so many mixtures. So many mixtures, and I don't
I'm not gonna lie, it's not scary.
I'm not trying to get caught up in the mixtures.
I'm gonna remind myself that fair and faith is not living the same. Yeah, it's a little scary, but
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I strongly believe that if it is, in fact, the Lord's will for me to find myself in another relationship, it's going to work out perfectly.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I'm completely closed to it, but I'm not going to be... I'm drooling. I'm begging. That is not going to happen.
I know they say he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. So do you look, or you don't even look at all? You just think that it's going to find you. I don't know if it's Harrison Thompson who said, ladies, but he can't find you in your house. I remember that. So how do you feel about that?
I had that conversation too, right? And the conversation was real. You waiting for him to... You wait for him to come and find you, or what is it that you're gonna do? And as a part of the girlfriends' conversation, they're like, well, times have changed. Sometimes you have to go ahead and be the person that makes the first move. The first move to say, hey, hi, hello, something.
Wow. Voice changes and everything.
I don't know.
That's complicated. I might give you a little look a couple times, but I might not say hello, but I'm gonna give you a look. Couple times. You see me look and smile a couple times. Maybe that's my
cute.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
It's I'm open. I'm open to whatever it is. To whatever it is that the Lord will have for me.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I will not get married again. It just might be it's somewhere in my future. I just don't know.
Okay, I'm hearing the word open.
Yeah.
So, Anishka, you are our first-time guest, so you get to choose from the healing bowl.
Ooh.
Please pick your affirmation and look at the camera and read it to our audience.
Oh, yeah. I am worthy and deserving of all of my heart's desires.
Amen. Oh my gosh.
You are.
If you didn't hear me the first time, I am worthy and deserving of all my heart's desires.
Yes. So, Ria, I want to dive a little deeper with you. There's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to divorce and healing after divorce. How can people who are going through divorce navigate that uncertainty and overcome that uncertainty?
I think the first thing that I'm reminded of in this moment as you're asking me the question is when there is the place of uncertainty, you need to find counsel. And there are times, even in the divorce care group, sometimes people, they may put a question forward as if they're trying to find a way to ask you for advice, when in fact, I'm not a legal counsel. I cannot advise you in terms of what it is that you need to do. So as opposed to you finding or trying to get clarity from friends and people that's around you, make sure that you find yourself a good source in terms of finding yourself a good legal counsel that you can get the right advice.
Yes.
Because there are so many things, so many facets, so many underlying things that we have to be aware of. You know, there are times when, as you're going through a divorce process, you may consider, I had enough of this. I will move out of this house.
Yes.
I just try to get away, or what do I do? Can I move? Can I not move? And sometimes you find that people are ill-advised. And that then adds to the level of uncertainty because now you have another layer of problems and issues that you have to have resolved.
That's true.
So my recommendation, my strong recommendation all the time would be make sure that you find yourself good counsel. And if you're not comfortable and confident in the counsel that you actually have, there's nothing wrong with finding somebody else.
Yes, that's true.
We have many great attorneys, a legal counsel that we have around here.
Yes.
So find yourself a good legal counsel that can help to lead you and guide you along the way. And do not wait until, the other thing that I would say to people as well is, do not wait until the last nail knock to actually start to ask questions. You have already begun to see the signs. Usually, you would have already had some indicator in terms of what are the signs that's coming. You're seeing some behaviors or some patterns that have changed. So you can start to ask the question. It doesn't mean that you are going through with it, but you can start to ask the question so that you can know how best to position yourself as you're navigating the space. Because there are some things that you may need to do as you're going through in order to build your story, create your story, build your case.
I didn't even think about that. So even when you're...
As you get, I mean, the signs are there. Sometimes we want to turn a blind eye to it. We don't want to believe that it's actually there.
That's true.
But I mean, the reality of it is, it's there. And if you have a little inkling that something is going on, I would suggest start to have the right kinds of conversations so that you can know exactly what it is that you ought to be doing, what it is that you need to be doing, and the right conversation very well could also even be, as opposed to going directly to having legal counsel, it may be finding yourself in a divorce care group, because it may be something that you need to do.
That's true.
In terms of you becoming more aware of who it is that you are and how is it that you can reposition yourself in your own marriage, and that could save the marriage.
Yes.
So just
going to therapy. Going to therapy,
yes. Definitely. That is another, just like divorce. Going to therapy is another taboo thing, because people think that you going to therapy is actually because you're crazy. No, you're not crazy. No. Going to therapy doesn't mean that you're crazy. No. It's just that
you're trying to work through some things and you want to know.
Absolutely. Yes. And we do have trained therapists who know how to skillfully help you to navigate through the layers of life.
Yes, yes.
So we have to trust them that they know how to skillfully remove the layers and help you to really get to the root of what are some of the issues that need to be addressed.
And I am a testament to that because I went to therapy by myself. So I went to therapy about 5 times in marriage, but I went back. There's one lady I connected with in marriage therapy. I went back to her just by me being single. And she said, Michaela, you don't cry when you talk about your ex. But you was cry. Everybody actually, daddy, you was just crying and can't talk. So we could dig deeper. And I did not want to dig deeper into that. And she told me, because I didn't want to talk about it a lot, she told me to write a letter to him. And let me talk about that after I wrote the letter. Because since I'm a writer, tried that route. And I held on to that letter 2 years before I gave that to that man. And after I gave that, it was like, it just felt like a whole load off my shoulder. I said, he might not respond, but I have to just give him this letter and let him know how I feel. And she pulled it out of me because I didn't think I had a problem with that. I thought, I was good, I fought it, I did well, don't need him. Okay, but she was like, nope, we're gonna dive deeper so they can see what you're trying to hold back on sometimes because they are, like you say, very skilled.
I think the best part of it for me is the fact that I have a best friend who's a psychologist. So as I'm navigating through life, there are moments that I would pick up the phone and I would call and say, listen, I need the doctor today.
Yes.
This is who I need. And that's how our relationship, pretty much, that's how we establish our relationship. When I call her, I let her know who is it that I need
today.
Yes.
Doctor or the friend.
I need the doctor today, and because I need the doctor, you're gonna have to, do your work on me.
Yeah. Yes.
And she knows how to separate, even though, of course, by way of practice, they shouldn't, there are certain lines they shouldn't necessarily cross.
Yes.
But I can truly say that because she knows me very well, she's definitely been able to do a work with me.
Okay.
And for that, I'm grateful. I don't take it for granted that I do have a doctor that's very close to me, who's my best friend, who's able to help me navigate through the world of psychology.
Awesome. So thank you again, Ria. And thank you for watching. Family, if you are single, be reminded to be single with a purpose. Until next episode, see you then.
Yes, I wanna heal. Yeah. Wait, I gotta feel it? No. Ooh, I just don't know. But I wanna grow. Where can I go? To a safe place. Talking about a safe space. Yeah, a safe space. Special thanks to my glam team. Hair by Onyx, makeup by Ajua, clothing by Jadazzles.